I've never done it though, ever.
You never been with a woman who's married, or never been with a woman who's got a boyfriend?
Never
Ever.
Not that I can think of, no.
That you can think of, or you cared about at the time.
Good.
That's it. And they will put up with so much shit because they're so insecure.
Yeah.
That they're not going to get. This is the first pretty girl that's ever looked at me.
So they'll just
put up with. And I know. And first of all, I've been there, so I know what that's like. When I was in my 20s, I didn't get any attention from any women. So when I finally did get attention from a girl who was a pretty girl, and it was my first real proper girlfriend and proper adult relationship, I was at her feet. I put up with the most shit until I woke up one day and I just switched, and that's when I had a light bulb moment. Do you know what I mean? And it was actually me that walked away from that relationship, but I was just so grateful. I was just so grateful because I never got with girls.
They know it as well.
And to be honest, in my experience, and I don't know how other people are, those girls are with you for that reason.
Yes.
Like my ego would love me to think, oh, she finally saw what I knew I had, but other women just couldn't see. No, she loves being worshipped.
Yeah.
And she might be still going with other guys because you don't do it for her sexually, but you're useful.
Yeah.
And you cater to her ego, and you'll pay her rent, and you'll look after her kid, and you'll babysit when she can go out with her girls, and you'll do a load of other things that devalue your self-respect, but you're just so happy to be there.
Yeah.
It happens. Do you know what I mean? So, and that happens to a lot of guys, and I know guys that, and I can recognise that in guys sometimes. They get with a girl who's a wrong 'un. And we can see, like I've been in situations where I'm with a group of guys or a group of friends, or you're in a club or a gym or something, and one of the guys is dating a girl, and you're just looking at him like, you poor bastard. But you don't want to break it. You have to be as honest as you can, because it might not be your boy though. It might be a guy, and it's not your place to say anything. But you're with a girl, and you can just that girl might be looking at every other guy, and you can see that girl eyeing you up and eyeing all the other guys up. Do you know what I mean? But he's just so proud with her because he's just so happy. He's got himself.
You don't even know.
He's got himself a 6 or a 7. But even if he does know deep down, that's all getting pushed down and repressed.
Yeah, he's like, I'll deal with it.
That's no. You're just being paranoid. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you're getting down your natural being because you're just so happy to be there. And that's what people don't understand with a lot of men. When women talk about men cheating and they've got multiple girls, most guys can't get one girl.
And most women don't believe it.
They don't, because they're only fucking with the guys that they fuck with.
They don't believe that men get rejected a lot.
And they don't understand
they even approach a woman. Because it's something like 40% of men have never approached a woman in person.
That's why 60% of them die
That's
fucking childless.
Insane.
But if you say that to a woman, that 60% of men can't get laid, they'll be like, that's silly.
They don't believe it.
Because they don't acknowledge that those men exist. They don't acknowledge their existence. They're only looking at the guys that they are kind of in circles with.
We
get girls.
Women.
We get women. They don't understand. Look around. Next time you go to the shops, ladies, look around. When you go to the petrol station, look at the guy who's working behind the counter. Tell me if you acknowledged him. Tell me if you acknowledged him as a man.
That's mad, you know. It's the truth though.
Tell me if you acknowledge him as a man. Next time you go and just go to the supermarket and the guy's topping the shelves, see if you just acknowledge him as a man.
Yeah, as a human.
As a human being.
Actually,
the next guy delivers your food to you. The guy who's on the delivery platforms when you order food and they come to your house, the men who come out see if you actually even acknowledge him as a human being and not a vending machine. Because you'll just treat them, man, as a vending machine. They're just coming and giving you food. Oh, thanks, and you grunt a thank you at them. Do you know what I mean? There's loads of men in this world. You just don't acknowledge them. They don't even come up in your radar because you're only fucking with the men that you are in circles with. Most men can't have a side because they can't even get a fucking main to have a side. Most men can't get the main to have the side.
And that's why for me, I don't feel right in competing with men. I've never felt right with men competing with other men that have partners already. I think it's wrong, bro. I can't.
Been there.
It's hard enough
Been
to get
there.
a decent woman.
Been there though. We've all made mistakes. We've all been there, done that. Do you know what I mean? But as you get older, you start going.
I've never done it though, ever.
You never been with a woman who's married, or never been with a woman who's got a boyfriend.
Not
Ever.
Not that I can think of. No.
That you could think of, who you cared about at the time.
Good. Nah, I don't think so, man.
You didn't think so? You didn't bother?
If it was the case, they didn't say. No,
and
they didn't say.
And you didn't care to ask. And you didn't care to ask because we don't really care. At the end of the day, when we're like,
it's a weird question though. Like, I don't think men ever ask that. Women do though. Have you noticed?
Because they know. Because you know why we don't
They ask.
Because they care. We don't care.
They go, are you like?
Are you single? Are you single?
Like,
how many girls have you seen?
These times they're already laying in bed with you. Are you?
There's a reason because deep down, as much as men, we can sit.
Are you single? They've all exchanged numbers and everything, and then they're like, "Wait, are you single? Oh my!
Are you single? Well, she's taking. The problem is, men will say we care, but really we don't. When we're in that situation, we don't care to ask. And it's like, well, she didn't tell me.
I think it's a bit of a mood killer to ask.
Unless you get into that situation.
I think women think it's a mood killer if a guy was to ask.
Yeah, but you don't ask.
Not like
you
just
ask
asking, but I mean like when you've already started initiating.
Yeah.
Contact.
But why would you ask that? Do you think I'd be talking to you if I did?
Yeah.
They get offended.
But then they ask men all the time.
Yeah. Because men are held to a different standard than women are. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? But like I'm with you on it, but I've made the mistakes, and then I've realised over time as I've got older. Do you know what? Why would I want to date a married woman? Why would I want to date someone who's got a kid? Why would I even want to get into that messy situation? And that's to do with a man, and when he gets to the place where he's dating with purpose now. Do you know what I mean? When I decided that I wanted to be serious and I wanted to settle down, to be honest, I always wanted to settle down anyway. But sometimes you get kind of, you veer off in your late 20s, early 30s. Sometimes you veer off a little bit. But I was always the kind of person, it sounds weird, yeah? I've never wanted to be like a playboy, I have loads of women or anything. I don't know if that's because when you're young and you're a man and you don't get no action and you don't get any attention. The reason I talk about these 60% of men who don't get even recognised is because I was one of those. All from my 20s, all from my teens, all from my 20s. Like, girls didn't even acknowledge me as a man. Do you know what I mean? Even the girls that used to be around me and enjoy talking to me, I was the gay best friend. Do you know what I mean? I was never a viable, eligible man. It was always like, oh, I'd love to find a man just like you. Not you, but a man just like you. You know, why can't all men be sweet like you? I'm here. Like, I'm here now. I'm here. You don't need a man like me. I'm here. But I don't want you, I want a man like you. Do you know what I mean? So I've been there. So when I say about these kind of stuff, is that I've been in that situation. And with me, I kind of improved as I got older a little bit. So I had a bit of a glow up when I was getting older. So when I got older, I was a little bit more attractive to more women. Do you know what I mean? Not that then I suddenly became, all women are falling at my feet, but like I became a little bit more eligible in women's eyes. But that's because I sorted myself out. You get in shape, you look after your appearance a little bit, you start working harder, you start getting stuff, you know. But when, I can't remember the point I was making, but when you don't get that attention as a young teenager in the 20s, two things happen. Either you go down one road, you're like, right, one day I'm going to be a total fucking playboy. So that when you come into money, now you're like, oh, my turn, bitches. Do you know what I mean? And you go down that route. Or with me, because I didn't want to get it, all I wanted was one woman. It sounds like a bit of a sob story, and I'm not trying to make it like a victim thing. But I just wanted one woman. I just wanted my wife. That's all I ever wanted. Was I just wanted to have my wife. And just have that one relationship. And then when I found my wife, I was happy because that's what I wanted. So I never really wanted to be that playboy thing. But I can understand why men do. It's like anything. When you grow up in a certain environment that's extreme one way, you can go two ways, can't you? You can either go totally one way or you can go totally the other. So if you grow up without any attention from women, you either go down the total playboy route when you finally have the chance to do it, or you're just happy, you're used to it, and you're what you want in life is just quality, not the quantity.
Yeah.
because it depends what you feel like you're lacking without the attention. If you're not getting any women, are you lacking attention and fun and sex, or is that the bit that you're yearning for, or are you yearning for a connection?
Yeah, because I think some men genuinely just want
connection.
Yeah,
I'm like that. I can say that because
just a female,
nice woman,
attention, just female, just comfort,
and just companionship.
With a female,
just companionship and a best friend. And
it's different relationship with a woman than it is with a man.
Yeah, of course. And that's all I ever wanted. I wanted this kind of team. Do you know what I mean? I just wanted to be like just me and my missus, and that's it. And when I come home, she's there. And when, you know what I mean? If she needs me, I'm there. And that's it. It wasn't no power couple thing. It wasn't no bullshit like that. It was just, it wasn't to show her off. It was just to be like, I wanted my best friend. Do you know what I mean? As my partner. You know, and I was fortunate enough that I was able to achieve it. But it took in my 40s, mid-40s, to meet that person. Do you know what I mean? But I can totally understand why it goes the other way. My mentor, a lady, she never got married for the first time until she was in her 80s.
That's insane.
She found her husband in her 80s. And she never got married. And she got married for the first time in her 80s. And it was beautiful because she finally found a man. And she wasn't like, oh, I don't get married because she was having hot girl summers as a kid. Like, she was in long relationships and just never ended up in marriage, and she never had kids. But, you know, in her 80s, she found her husband.
That's crazy.
And she sent me a picture of it, and it was beautiful to see because she's a newlywed. She's like
crazy,
a newlywed at 80. You know, she was into her 80s then, I remember.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and you know, so I personally know this happens, but it depends what you want. She didn't want to be out there having loads of guys and this, that, and the other. She just wanted that person, and she found it. Sometimes your person comes to you late. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes your person doesn't come to you at all, and sometimes your person came to you 20 years ago and you fucked them off because you were too busy having hot girl summers.
Yeah.